English. Today, we tell about Roberto Clemente. He was one of the most honored baseball players in history. He became the first Latino baseball player to be included in the Baseball Hall of Fame.
Most sports players are known for how great they play a game or how many records they break. But Roberto Clemente was loved not only for his ability in sports, but also for the kind of person that he was. Clemente was one of the first professional Latino baseball players in the United States. He became one of the best. He also worked to change the way baseball and the country treated racial minorities in the 1950s and 60s. He stood up against racism and did not permit anyone to be treated differently in his presence. Today's Latino baseball players say Roberto Clemente opened doors for them to reach their goals in a sport that had not always treated them equally.
Roberto Clemente Walker was born in 1934 in Carolina, Puerto Rico. Roberto's family struggled financially. As a young boy, he helped his father, who worked on a sugar farm and also managed a store that sold food. In school, Roberto was an excellent runner. He also won awards for throwing the javelin. But more than anything, he loved playing baseball. Puerto Rico's warm island climate made it easy for the young boy to play baseball all year. He had many skills, but his strongest quality was his powerful right arm that could throw a ball a great distance. While in high school, Roberto signed a contract to play baseball for the Santurce Crabbers in the Puerto Rican Winter League. At the age of 18, Roberto was already hitting a baseball better than many professional players in the United States.
This ability was recognized the following year. An official from the Brooklyn Dodgers team in New York City came to Puerto Rico looking for new young players. The official, Al Campanas, was pleased with Roberto's skill. He offered to give him a $10,000 gift to play for the Brooklyn Dodgers. But Roberto was unable to join the Major League team because he was still in high school. The young baseball player told Mr. Campanas that he would join the Brooklyn team as soon as he finished school. By the time he finished high school, Roberto had received several other offers from Major League teams in the United States. One team offered him a $30,000 gift just to sign a contract agreement. Although Clemente had not signed a contract with the Brooklyn Dodgers, he kept his word to the team. He refused the other offers and signed on to play for Brooklyn.
The Dodgers put Roberto Clemente on one of their minor league teams, where young players often begin. But soon after his first season, the Pittsburgh Pirates took Clemente for their team. Clemente began playing for the Pittsburgh Pirates in 1955. At the time, Clemente was still learning to speak English. In the 1950s, the United States was still very much divided between racial lines. Pittsburgh did not have a Latin American community at the time. Clemente, a black Puerto Rican, was shocked when he experienced racism in America.
In the spring, baseball players attended training camps in the southern state of Florida. Many eating places in the South at that time did not serve black people. So the black players on the team were forced to ask their white teammates to buy food for them. The black players would then eat on the bus that drove them to the games. Roberto Clemente had a very strong sense of self-worth. He would not let others treat him unequally. Clemente felt that having to ask his teammates for food was insulting. He later became a strong believer in the messages of civil rights leader Martin Luther King, Jr. Clemente's work helping poor people, especially those in Puerto Rico, became a very important part of his life.
Roberto Clemente stood out among the other players on his team. He was a strong right fielder who quickly became known for his powerful throwing and near-perfect aim. Clemente had an unusual way of hitting the baseball. He stood farther away from the pitcher than most players,